Hello everybody, Bad Weather Freak here with another video. It has been a while since I haven't posted a longer version of videos, but it's basically due to the fact that not much is happening in the Atlantic, in the tropics, at least on our neck of the woods or our side. Now, what you guys are seeing is, of course, what is all over social media. There's multiple areas that the National Hurricane Center is watching. I do a little bit of a zoom in here. Maybe there you go. So first of all, it's an area pretty far north in the Atlantic. I mean, north of Bermuda, not going to be any risk or any threat to anybody. And then there's a couple areas in further south that we're watching, especially that orange shaded area, which has a medium chance of development. Now, every forecasting models, I'm going to go ahead and run real quickly through the forecasting models. None of it is showing significant development with this storm. Neither getting it close enough to the islands where it should be a concern. Now, there is a yellow spot right under it with a lower chance of development, though that area as well is not going to be a significant event neither. Right now, with being in a El Nino basically situation in the Pacific, it is really controlling the upper level winds. It's creating a lot of wind shear and just not favorable overall conditions for the Atlantic and the Caribbean in general. Now, further down the line, closer towards probably October, that may change a little bit, and that will be, if anything, in my opinion, if anything, that's going to be the biggest concern for, or the highest probability of potential development, as we may get storms that may form closer to the United States. But as of right now, I'm not expecting any long track storms from the coast of Africa all the way through the Caribbean or or potentially the Atlantic. I'm not expecting that as of right now. And if anything forms, it's gonna curve out to sea and no immediate threat to land potentially. So that's basically what you guys are seeing here. Now let's take a look at the Pacific, because in the Pacific there is a current issue that we potentially can be seeing a historical event here. So obviously the Pacific, being under an El Nino, a really strong El Nino, is developing a lot of areas, and it has already produced multiple hurricanes. But what you guys are seeing here, and let me kind of zoom in a little bit closer towards Hawaii, is because the probability of a storm impacting Hawaii are basically increasing. To give you guys some more background information, some forecasting models are predicting potentially even a hurricane actually making landfall in Hawaii. The issue, or not the issue, but the differences with Hawaii is, even in an event of a super El Nino, a lot of the storms may form, but they just either weaken or just completely miss Hawaii. And part of it has to do with the fact that it's just in the middle of the Pacific. It has to be just a perfect setup in order for a storm to intensify and make landfall directly on Hawaii. But right now, it's looking higher and higher, the probability of Hawaii being affected by a hurricane potentially. So let's kind of take a quick look here. I did a little bit of dive into the historical archives. And as you guys can see, hurricanes affecting Hawaii are not that common. Of course, tropical depressions, tropical storms for sure. The very latest tropical or hurricane in general that affected Hawaii was actually 1992, and that was Hurricane Iniki. And that was actually a major hurricane and the strongest hurricane to ever affected the island, or the islands in Hawaii. And that was a category 4. Now, let me guys share something interesting to you guys. 1992 was actually the year that one of the Jurassic Park movies was actually being filmed in Hawaii. And the director, Steven Spielberg, he actually grabbed his camera crew and started recording some of the effects of the hurricane, and he actually embedded some of those shots and some of the videos into one of the movies. I think it was released in 1993, one of the Jurassic Park movies. But fun fact is that it was actual live footage and actual rain from a tropical system that was actually displayed in the movies, and not like a made-up scenario or a fake scenario, how you will see in a lot of movies. But again, a long time since a hurricane has not affected the islands. Of course, you have had throughout the years tropical depressions, a few tropical storms, with the latest one in 2018, which it was Tropical Storm Olivia. Let's go back into the GFS models, or I'm going to show you the models in general, but this is the GFS. And if we go into the future, you guys can, let me kind of zoom in. That's 991. Let me move a little bit further into the future. As it gets closer to the islands, 990. And again, this is a and then they're kind of making landfall and skirting some of the northern islands. But at 991, that could potentially be a very strong tropical storm, or potentially, depending how it evolves, potentially even a Category 1 hurricane. Now, again, part of it is going to be this high pressure system that is potentially going to actually block the system from curving out to sea further north. Now, that is one model. Now let's take a look at the Euro. The European model, if you go further, I mean, it's kind of more of a lopsided system, 999, and then of course right over the islands at 1002, so it has a much weaker system making landfall in Hawaii. Now let's take a look at the Canadian model. The Canadian model kind of supports a weaker system and also completely missing the Hawaiian Islands. And then let's take a look at the German model. Now the German model, similar scenario, weaker storm, rain event for the most part, but much weaker, and then missing the islands for the most part, not a direct impact. So again, there's a probability, there's a possibility that actually may form and intensify potentially to a stronger storm, and then eventually making its way making landfall into Hawaii with a potential historic event. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but there's a probability, and especially this year with the strongest El Nino in probably decades. It has been many years since we haven't had a strong El Nino like this one so far for this year. And you guys can kind of see this here, where, I mean, that's just way above average sea surface temperatures, plenty of fuel. I mean, that's Hawaii right there, where the 27 is right here. So you guys can see that it hasn't, the storms do have plenty of fuel. It's a matter of if it's going to be enough to intensify. And shockingly, there's no shortage of warm temperatures in the Atlantic as well. Main development region area is around here, 26 degrees Celsius. That's a bare minimum to sustain tropical development. And then as we move further west, you guys can see that everything is just much more above average, which again, it's one of the ingredients to support a strong storm or activity in general, but it's not the only ingredient, but it's one of them, and it's already there. Now let's take a look, and I was gonna show you, let me see, what else can we show you. I mean, if we go back and kind of 90% chance of development already, so obviously this is definitely going to form. It's just a matter of how strong is it gonna get. That's the question. And if anybody of you guys subscribers from the channel, if you guys are in Hawaii, definitely comment in the section below, in the comment section below, and talk to us. Tell us what is happening. What are people saying in Hawaii? What are you doing to potentially prepare for this potential landfall? I would love to hear it and kind of interact with you guys a bit more. But other than that, I wanted to bring this to you guys' attention. Thank you for your time. I always appreciate it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share this video. And before I let you guys go, I wanted to mention one quick thing with the unfortunate tragedy happening in the country of Colombia. If you guys probably have seen in social media, about noon today, so in other words, about 4 or 5 hours ago, a devastating earthquake, 7.4 in magnitude. It basically rocked the Colombia in general. I mean, it was felt all the way across to Venezuela, Panama, and also Ecuador as well. And if I, like I mentioned on my short video, if there's anything positive about this whole situation, is the fact that people were somewhat aware, because and kind of like on, I don't want to say on edge, but kind of, because of what has happened, or what happened in Venezuela, which I was just doing a little bit of research today, and the death toll unfortunately surpassed 5,000 people in Venezuela. Now, so that's one positive thing, that people were already on alert, but based on what just happened in Venezuela. And also the fact that if you look at a map of Colombia, where the epicenter of this particular earthquake happened, it happened in a much less developed area. Population is roughly about 5,000 to 6,000 people. And now if the epicenter would have been, let's say, miles to the east of where it happened, it would have been a lot worse, because it would have affected Bogota, which is home to roughly about 7 million people. So that obviously would have been a much worse kind of scenario. I'm not trying to minimize the situation. Any loss of life, it's horrific. But of course, it could have been a lot worse. But nevertheless, my thoughts and prayers are with the people of Colombia, especially the people that they were directly affected by this catastrophic earthquake. So if you guys have family down there, like I said, you guys are in my thoughts and prayers right now. And I'm monitoring the situation. If any new developments happen, of course, I will keep you guys posted. But I just wanted to put that out there and bring some awareness to the situation that is unfolding right now in Colombia. I appreciate you guys' time. I appreciate you guys watching. Don't forget to, like I said before, like and subscribe. Share this video with your families and friends. And until the next one.